Sandman Nation, where you been? We're the St. Louis Syndicate. We're right here. We're giving you all this great feedback. Brandon and I, we're slaving over these numbers day and night, giving you guys the feedback. Where you at? Actually, I want to say thank you. We've actually taken a look at some of our numbers out on YouTube, and for most of the season, we got several viewers out there following along. So hopefully you're not listening too much to our Survivor picks. Hey, Brandon, we got our ass kicked this week. But
Yeah,
before that, we were rolling. So we're going to get back on the train this week.
without a doubt.
Brandon was out in DC. How was your DC trip, man?
It was fantastic. You
Yeah.
definitely want to go when there's good weather. You want to walk around. It's so good to walk around. I can't imagine going there like when it's 100 degrees outside. I don't know if even, I mean, it's kind of, a little farther south than here and out by the water. So maybe it never really gets that crazy, but like it was so much fun to just be able to just like land somewhere and just go, I'm just going to like walk for days. And so, yeah, we walked like 5.5 miles Wednesday and Friday.
Did you see any of the stadiums or anything, or did you just stay
No.
with the historical stuff?
Yeah, all the historical stuff, monuments. Like we walked kind of straight across the first day and hit like the Washington Monument, the War Memorial, the Reflecting Pool, the Lincoln Memorial, and then on Friday we kind of walked a little farther south and hit Jefferson Memorial and FDR's Memorial, and they came up and walked all the way up to the White House. And so, unfortunately, I didn't really know this. You can't really get anywhere near the White House.
No.
Like anywhere near. Like other than getting like dead straight ahead of it across Lafayette Park and then like looking through the trees, you can't even see it anymore. I thought you could you were
You
back
can't get
a
up to that black
ways.
fence anymore?
No, they got that entire street closed
Really?
that goes across, between the street that goes between like Lafayette Park and the White House. It's closed at both ends a block out. So yeah, they're not screwing around. Nobody's going down there. So yeah, we made it all the way around and then realized like, okay, I can look across the park and then, you can see it. So that was cool. But like, I really thought that like maybe I could get, where you could, actually see what's going on a little bit, but not so much.
So much for the People's House, huh?
Yeah. Well, got a lot of people upset. So yeah, I guess you don't want giant crowds right out.
Construction stuff's going on.
Well, and that's kind of what I really wanted to see. Like I'd only been to DC once and I didn't really get to go try to look at the White House then and see if you could get closer. But I was kind of interested in like, oh, what does it actually look like on the East Wing? But you can't get anywhere near it. So I don't know.
I should have told you. So I've been to DC several times and I got family members there, but I used to go there for work. There's a hotel kind of catty corner to it. I think it's called
Yeah.
And you can go up and they have a bar and you can kind of overlook and see
That's interesting.
into the grounds. And when we were there, I mean, I always found it interesting because you see the snipers walking around up on the roof and you can kind of see the anti-aircraft missiles that are up there. I mean, they're disguised the best they can be, but you can see where those things are located and you're like, oh wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And that's kind of why, I was hoping. I always had heard like, oh, you can see people up on the roof walking around. And, I was trying to look and see, like, can I see any movement or anything? But no,
They saw you. You didn't see them.
Yeah, for sure. But no, there's Jose Andres, the chef, does a lot of philanthropy work, feeding people all over the world. He's got a Michelin star restaurant right there, couple of blocks up from the White House. So we got to go there on Friday and it was real cool. And then we walked down and there was, a hotel right up the street that had like this really nice, like underground bar under it. So yeah, it was a good time. Lots of good seafood, good monument looking. So yeah, we're looking forward to go back. When the trees, cherry blossoms. Nicole wants to go back for that. So yeah, I think
those are pretty cool, man. But there's a lot of people there, and you better get your hotel early because they're expensive.
Well, yeah, got to get in early with most of this tourist stuff. Like you just gotta get a plan out there a year in advance and get it locked in. Once the little man gets a little bit older and he can be interested in some of this stuff, start taking him around and showing him some stuff.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Awesome. Glad you had a good trip, man. Well, we didn't have a whole lot of crazy things happening back home while you were gone, other than Missouri got the dog snot beat out of them.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was very
kind of
unfortunate.
it was kind of an unfortunate game. If I'm being objective, I didn't really think we were going to win. Our defense did what it should have done. Our running game did what it should have done. And we really had a freshman quarterback who wasn't horrible. He could have been worse. I would have liked to have seen him play a little bit better under duress, but he was playing the number 3 team in the nation in the SEC.
Yeah,
And
it's hard.
it was his first start ever. It's not easy for a reason. He handled himself fairly well. And legitimately, we were 2 to 3 big plays from being right there in this game. And I
Yeah,
know that that's not a consolidation prize and anything, but honestly, we might have been able to win that game if we had Bo. And Bo makes me nervous as shit. But
yeah,
I really feel like our pieces, offense, defense, special teams play, everything is okay. It's that we didn't have our trigger puller and they just had some good plays, and that's just what it is. But that's kind of what was happening around these parts while you were off hanging out on the East Coast.
yeah. I was trying to keep some tabs on it while we were coming back on Saturday, and it just seemed like it just wasn't gonna. They just slowly wore us down. Like
Yeah,
it seemed like at the beginning we were kind of blowing them, and then that running game just kind of broke away from us. So
yeah. The
yeah,
fake
I
punt didn't
hopefully
help.
we'll get into next year. When you're gonna have this many killer games, you're either gonna be way up there or you're gonna get knocked back. And this was the year to get knocked back. Early on, I thought like, oh, we got a shot. If we could win like some of these big games, like, we'd be right there. And then it just we can't get over the hump.
I'd like to see us play a little tougher schedule earlier in the season, but at the same time, you run the risk of not having that good record heading into conference play.
Right.
With the way that they're changing the SEC format next year, it could be a little bit different. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
So Brandon, last week when you were there, we recorded a different way, right? We didn't really have anything planned out. We just kind of jaw jacked around a little bit, and
Yeah.
our viewers, we've asked viewers to give us some feedback. So we're going to continue that this week. Give us some feedback on what you guys think. We're going to just kind of go down the games and give you our thoughts and kind of pick where we are and what side. And what you're going to find is we don't always agree on everything. Brandon and I have not had any conversations yet. I have my numbers. He has his numbers. And you're going to find us vastly different, but you'll figure out our methodology as to how we come to a consensus and whether it's right or wrong. I think if you look at both of our records on the year, not just legends, but all games, I think, man, we're both hanging right around 500. We've got a couple bad weeks, couple great weeks, and the rest of the time right in the middle. So we're trying to get that. What is the number? 54%?
Yeah. 56. You
56?
know. Yeah. Yeah. You get to 56%, you never have to work again.
You just got to find somebody to take your bet
Well,
because we
yeah,
know
you
these
gotta,
casinos won't do it.
getting the bets down is half the battle once you have a methodology that works.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll
You got
start
to
off with
keep,
the Thursday night game this week. This is kind of an interesting game for us. A team that is super dominant and a team that is dog shit. And I kind of look at this as I distrust large numbers in the division.
yeah,
Always been that way. That's not a secret, and I'm leaning heavier and heavier on that this year as we go, which means that while I think New England's going to win, I'm on the side of the Jets in this first game, primarily because my numbers on my spreadsheet indicate that New England should be favored by 8.5, not 10.5. And that I always think that these teams play within about 3.5, 3 points of each other in general when we talk about interdivision play. What are your thoughts on this game?
so we go back to last week.
Yep.
I had Denver as an 11-point favorite against 8.5 or 9.5, depending on where it was in the market. And I thought that in Vegas, and they covered for me. This week, it's going to be harder, right? Because we're looking at 10.5 to 11.5.
Mm-hmm.
My numbers make it 18.8.
Wow.
So it's rough, right? Because now the number's all the way up to 13, which
Is it up to
starts,
13?
yeah, right
Oh, man.
before I refreshed the numbers, the
Well, I
live
saw it had
line is at
creeped up
like
to 11 and
13.
a half for our pick'em league,
Yeah,
and Sandman locked us in at
10 and
10
a half.
and a half.
So
Whew.
there starts to be that pressure where it's hard because I've been riding New England for weeks and it's been working out for me, making it difficult for me to turn away from this week. I know I should. Your methodology is always the easiest. That like, hey, if it's in division and it starts getting up over a touchdown, just take the points. And if you don't really believe in it, make it a small confidence pick and move on. But boy, do the Jets look like they don't know what's going on
Oh,
and don't really care.
but last week, they came back with a flurry. They showed
Yeah.
something.
Well, the problem was that they scored the first 2 touchdowns on kick returns, and
True,
it skews the whole game.
true.
So you go into it, you go, yeah, Cleveland was the wrong side. I took Cleveland. I went
I was on
like,
Cleveland too.
hey, I was making it more of like 5.2 line um, versus the 2.5, one way or the other, that it seemed to be skewing between.
Yeah.
And just went, hey, look, I think this is going to work out. We know that their defense doesn't really travel, but this Jets. And then they come right out. They score the first 2 touchdowns on special teams. And, Cleveland never really recovers. New England isn't making those kinds of mistakes. Now, the one thing
This is
that
true.
is leaning the direction of staying away from New England is that the easy schedule, which this is one of the games that makes their schedule so easy, right? Because the Jets are so lowly rated. But the other piece of it is that the guys that do kind of all of the, hey, we use the analytics and we kind of rework what the final score should have been in games, all came to the conclusion that using those analytics, New England should have lost the game, not just didn't cover, but lost to Atlanta last week. So
You
it
mean
is a
Tampa?
little bit of that.
They played Tampa last week, right?
Yeah, Tampa. Sorry. Played Tampa last week. They, by the analytics, should have lost to Tampa. So maybe that is a little bit of a early harbinger to go, okay, they fought through it. They win. They end up covering because Travion just keeps breaking runs. They go, they play the Jets. Maybe some weird stuff happens. It's Thursday night. They get out with a win, but they win by 7. And they're nowhere close to covering 11 and a half. So
What are your thoughts on the Jets last week? Playing a little bit inspired because there was all those trades earlier in the week, and they wanted to kind of be like, give you the big fuck you. Hey, I can't believe you went out and did this. We're gonna win despite you giving up some of our best players.
maybe, I
I
mean,
don't know
I
how that reaction is.
guess
I mean, it's a thing, right? I mean, they gave up
because,
2 of their best defensive players, 3 of them.
yeah, the easiest answer for me is that Cleveland's offense is trash. They just can't move the ball. You watch Gabriel try to throw, and every once in a while, he gets a nice pass off. But most of the time, he's got the happy feet. He can't he's having problems. He
He's too
he
short.
steps up in the like he can't get an angle. He can't get away. You know,
They got to go to Shador
so
there, and I hate to say it, but they got to at least give him a
I
look.
mean, you should at least try. But they have what they have. Maybe now they kind of have the inside line to the first pick again, plus some other picks. So, maybe they just decided, hey, we're going to ride this thing out. We're going to make a decision after the game or after the season, figure out maybe then we want to do something with him. But this one, I think I end up on the same side with you of just going, let me take the points. Let me make it a low confidence pick. I'm not going to put, it's not going to go in Ben Harper. It's not going to go in the super contest. And you
Yeah.
just sit back and you just assume that it's probably going to stay close because in division game on a weird night. And it goes like last Thursday's game where it takes a while to get started and it's a low scoring game and it's hard to get outside of the 10 or 11 or 12 points.
Yeah, I actually like the under in this game. While 44.5 is kind of a low number by itself, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't see this. This is 24-17, maybe 24-14.
Yeah. And
Keeps it
I don't
under.
even know if it gets that high. Like
Yeah,
if New England isn't going to cover,
yeah,
this may be another one of those 10, 14, 10, 17 sort of
18.
games, where, everybody putters around at halftime. It's 7-7, and then New England opens it up a little bit in the second half and wins. I just I don't know how the Jets get going when New England's thing has kind of been shutting down the run. And that's really the only thing the Jets can do outside of apparently score special teams touchdowns. Garrett Wilson's sitting again. It's not like Fields is whipping the ball all over the field anyway. You got Brees Hall. Maybe he rips off some runs, but New England's run D has been doing just fine, bottling everybody up.
Yeah, and I mean it's in New England. I mean, there's no reason why New England doesn't win this game, and they probably, if this thing was 6.5, I'd probably take New England. If this thing was at even 7.5, 8.5, I might take New England.
Yeah,
Just
something less than 10.
the 10.5 and up makes me think, I'm just gonna play the Jets here and keep it low.
Yeah, no,
All
it
right.
seems very reasonable.
Miami and Washington. I have no idea. When you take a look at, I was doing the power rankings and all that stuff, and the slide that we have that's got all the nonsense on it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the Dolphins, I have them in the category of sick of their shit.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sick of the
without a
Dolphins
doubt.
shit.
Yeah,
Who are they? What are they doing? What are we trying to accomplish here? They don't know if they want to win, if they want to lose. They beat Buffalo, they lose. They're terrible.
yeah, no, here's the fun. My numbers make Miami 9.7 point favorite.
How much?
9.7, which is
9-point
absolute chaos.
favorite?
Yeah,
Shut up.
yeah.
All
So,
right. So my
it,
line, we got to
it
figure
puts
this out, dude. Why we're
Washington
so
at a
far off.
negative 7.5 for Washington,
Wow.
which they've been playing that way, right? Like they get absolutely just worked last week
Yeah.
by Seattle. They have been in general underperforming by 8 points
Yeah.
against the line on average. And, their over under, their win total just keeps getting worse. And their strength of schedule is on the positive side. So it's all just driving them towards just being bad, performing bad. And then Miami is kind of building their way back up here, getting some wins, not wildly underperforming. They're, at this point, they're almost 4 points on average overperforming their spread. Doesn't hurt to have one of those ones like last week where you come out and wipe the floor with somebody that you're an underdog to. But I don't know. For me, I don't know. I probably just end up laying the 2.5 points. It's overseas. Getting 2.5 points with Washington is really going, okay, they're gonna win the last second. They're gonna win outright. Washington's a mess. Like, where's your number putting it at?
My number right now puts me at Washington minus 2.5.
Okay.
So I'm taking into account, remember, mine are based on year-long data analytics. So I have to make adjustments mentally for recency bias in my numbers because my data incorporates also week 1, week 2, week 3. So, I could potentially need to adjust my numbers and say, okay, when I hit week 9 or 10, I need to throw out the first 3 weeks of the season and then kind of, I don't know. There has to be something that I need to
Yeah.
adjust because I kind of lean towards what your numbers are saying because my gut is telling me that I'm probably going to play Washington in the points here only because so here's what I'm looking at. Washington, we have a major issue with Washington right now, and they have had inconsistency at the quarterback position, and we're really down on them. Here's their last 4 opponents though, and they've been smacked hard. They got beat by Detroit, who's in our top 5. They got beat by Seattle, who's in our top 5. They got beat by Kansas City, who's potentially in our top 5 or one of the better teams in the league. They got
Yeah.
smoked by Dallas, who at the time was hot. And then they lost to Chicago by 1. They beat the Chargers. They lost to Atlanta. They beat Vegas. They lost to Green Bay, kind of throwing Green Bay into that Seattle, Detroit, Kansas City mix. They beat the Giants. So when I look at them against opponents of Miami's quality, I feel like taking the points is the way to go. Especially
Well, hell,
since
what are we calling Miami's quality at this point?
that's the
issue.
other problem. I'm sick of Miami's shit. But
Yeah.
Miami's quality to me is they lost to Indianapolis, they lost to New England, they lost to Buffalo, they beat the Jets. They lost to Carolina, they lost to the Chargers, they lost to Cleveland, they beat Atlanta, they lost to Baltimore. Buffalo, I'm calling a fluke, man. It's an interdivision game. I've told you about these interdivision games.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fluke, no matter which way you cut it, but
they're
like,
shit.
goddamn.
Now
Like,
you got to fly over the ocean and you've got to perform. Now, here's the disagreement that I have is that the 2.5 is a scary number because could Miami win by a field goal? Sure. Why couldn't they? But could they lose by 1? Yeah. Couldn't they win by 1? Yeah. I don't see them winning by a touchdown. They might win by 4. So this to me is, once again, this is where I'm in gap, and I go, I'm going to take the Commanders and put a 2 or 3 on it. And I reference gap a lot. I know you Sandman guys. This is basically what I would call a no bet. I would not go to Vegas and lay money on this. I would not go to the Sandman Sportsbook and lay money on this. But we are forced to pick every game, so we like to cover him that way. This is a low play for me. This is a Washington.
Well, it's definitely a low play because my least favorite thing is getting up early on Sunday and just being mad for the first 4 hours of being away. And this is going to be one of those things where either Miami just runs them off the field. Achane just gets out there and he just rips through them, and you're just watching the back of his head as he just runs towards the end zone.
He could very easily do that.
It just stays nice and close. And,
well, then let's take a look at this. All right. Let's look at Washington's defensive rushing statistics. Opponent rushing yards per game. Washington is ranked 23rd. They give up 134 yards a game. I mean, that's Achane running wild, buddy.
Yeah. I want to believe that when you put up
that's a good call out.
Quinn versus McDaniel, that you go, Quinn seems like an adult. Probably will have his team ready.
He's an adult.
Boy, you got sunglasses and short pants over there, just standing on the sideline going like, what's happening to me? Like, can somebody hand me an edible? Like, when is this game going to end? Sort of thing. And you just go, I could see getting on a plane and going across the water in Washington, at least being prepared.
Oh, yeah. Mariota's going to be buttoned up and prepared.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that, like, Miami doesn't exactly have a great defense either.
No.
And what has been Washington's downfall in many of these games where they get trounced is they go up against a good defense. And that defense just holds them down. And then the offense does whatever it's going to do on the other side. So I think I'm coming around to your side of it. That you just go, give me the points, give me the team that's led by adults. It's really weird to come and be recorded talking about Washington being ran by adults now.
Right.
Because we just, our entire lifetime has just been like, hey, maybe they flash in the pan and they get some good players and they win some games, but like the leadership of the team doesn't ever really know what's going on.
Yeah.
But it does seem like they got their management level kind of squared away where maybe they'll be ready to go across the pond and be up for the game. So I don't know. I think I'm going to end up on the side of just, hey, 2 in a row. Just let me take the points. You know, the interesting thing is that Thursday night drove me for my Sunday morning pick this last week.
Oh, yeah?
That I went, hey, let me grab Vegas. And then I get up Sunday morning and I go, you know what? We all talked about how Denver should just bury Vegas. Now I staring at Atlanta going, Indy kind of got kicked in the ass. And
Man,
like,
I made the same pick.
let me grab some points with Atlanta. And, it kind of half worked out, right? Because we kind of split the baby on that one.
Yeah.
5.5 and the 6.5.
That pissed me off too when I realized it, but
Yeah. So
at
that
the
was
end of the day,
unfortunate.
though, I did the same thing. And I think that I'm hopeful, right? I'm leaning towards hope that we're feeling some normalcy in our play. Some of these teams starting to resonate to establish where we understand them a little bit better. I don't know if this is not a game that, there will be no points on this for me. I mean, it's going to be so low
Yeah.
that I don't really care. And I don't want to spend too much time on things I don't care about. But at the end of the day,
Well, it's interesting, right? Taking 2 teams that are bad, one that's gotten hot recently, and send them to another country
yeah.
and
See if we
go,
can't screw that up.
have at it. So it's interesting. I want to watch it, but I'd rather not pick it.
I'm
So
getting tired of these international games, man. They're hard to pick.
they are, but I like watching a standalone game while I drink coffee in the morning. I do. I care about all these guys' health and safety, but I do really enjoy just, hey, it'd be nice if there was football on almost all the time.
Yeah.
And so to get up Sunday morning and go, hey, while I'm getting the day started, there's some guys playing football in another country. Isn't that weird? And you can just load it right up. So yeah, I
hear
always
you.
get up and
I'm
watch
with you.
them.
All right, let's bounce to the next game on the slate, and we might have to pick up the time pacer. We're going to be on here for 3 hours. We're already 30 minutes in. Brooke's going to kill us.
Yeah, well,
So
those 2 are standalone games. We can rip through a couple of these.
Yeah, we'll rip through a couple of these. Okay, so we're right on to Houston and Tennessee, with Tennessee being 7.5. You've got a division favorite here. My number has Tennessee hanging out at plus 10.5, when in reality, the lines are showing us, 7.5?
7.5. I'm at 7.4.
Okay.
I'm dead nuts on.
You're dead on it. I'm saying Tennessee is 10. So I'm saying Houston has a little bit of an edge here. I don't love any of this because of the schedule. This is kind of one of those games where Davis Mills looked good last week, but can he do it twice in a row? And, I've heard that Stroud's head is not quite there.
Yeah.
To me, this is a play probably more on, once again, interdivision with the points. I'm leaning towards Tennessee.
Yeah, I'll just take the points.
And it's probably going to be
down to 6.5.
3, 4, 5 game. Now, we played 3 games, and now I'm down. All my 3, 4, and 5s are gone.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to start gambling on something.
Yeah, this will probably be a line move thing. If it stays below 7.5, I probably just take the 7.5.
Yeah.
And just move on. Yeah, I kind of work backwards, right? Like, you have to put a number on those first 2 games, but the rest of them, you just start going, here, let me find the games I like, And then you just work your way down. You just go, hey, these are the guys left to the bottom that I don't want anything. Because, there's a bunch here in the morning that you just go, I don't want to do anything with
Right.
any of this.
Yeah. Terrible. What do you think of the Steelers, man? Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. This thing says Pittsburgh at -5.5. That's what CBS locked it in at.
Yeah.
My numbers got Pittsburgh at -1.5.
I've got them at -3.2.
Okay. So
Look,
both
here's
of
the
us.
problem, right? Like, we should zag, right? We zigged last week. We took a boot in the ass. They went out to LA and just left all their football playing in Pittsburgh. This seems like one of those ones that if Burrow surprise starts, then fine, grab the points.
Is he getting
If
close?
he was practicing, I saw video of him at least coming out on the field on Monday. So
That's
that
good.
probably doesn't mean that the line hasn't moved. So I'm assuming like it hasn't been super optimistic reporting yet. But like, hey, if he surprise starts, then grab your 5.5 points. If not, hell, you probably lay the points and go, hey, Mike Tomlin at home, off a loss. Like, you don't love to take him as a favorite, but like Cincinnati's got a problem on their hands, and Pittsburgh has found a way to play a little bit of defense unexpectedly. And it's probably one of those ones that you just go, all right, they had such a bad game. It's probably depressing their number a little bit. So take a run. But it's not one of those lock ones. It's not one that we have an angle on for sure.
No. Interdivision. Is it a revenge spot? They lost to Pittsburgh at home. Cincinnati lost to Pittsburgh at home 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They lost to Chicago by 5. They lost to the Jets by 1. They beat Pittsburgh. I kind of like Pittsburgh here too. I don't know why I like Pittsburgh because I hate Pittsburgh most of the time, and when it comes to playing them, and I don't like the 5.5. So I'm gonna have to wait and see if this thing moves. This is one where I've got to see where the betting lines are sitting. Let me look right now. This is where I like to go look at Action Network and take a look and see how many bets have been placed. So
Oh, that's always a good call.
right now there's been 9,000 bets placed, and Pittsburgh has 38% of the bets and 50% of the money. So we like that angle, right? We always are looking
Yeah.
for low percentage, high money. The Bengals have
Yeah.
62% of the bets, but only 50% of the money. So this is one I'm going to monitor as we go. Still not a
Yeah.
super contest play, but I want to see if any sharps come in and move this number at all. See if something happens we don't know about. It's one of the least played games of the week, other than
Well, yeah, because who wants to mess with this?
no, but I think they're waiting to see what Burrow news is.
Well, that could very well be. Early in the week, it would
I bet you get
surprise me
late
if
Pittsburgh money.
somebody sat me down and went, I have a really strong opinion about this. Like, it's one thing you get later in the week, some people start doing some analytics and they start coming up with some ideas. But the early weeks where somebody just goes, clearly, this is wrong. Let me grab one side. I can't imagine somebody having a clear picture at that.
Yeah. So I follow a couple different writers too. Let me look and see what my writers are saying about this kind of stuff. My writers are saying Pittsburgh, man. So
Yeah.
I think as I sit here and do my research, it kind of looks like all signs, including the Brandon Lewis play of the week. Does this become one of our plays, or is it maybe not there? Maybe we got to keep talking.
We'll see what people come up with. Look, if somebody can make a real good substantive argument and Burrow stays off the field, I'm not against doing that. I don't know what the path through this to go, here's why they clearly have an edge on this is this early in the week.
All right. Any reason why, in your opinion, the Packers should be favored over anybody right now by 8.5?
Man, the Giants are so bad. they have to be favored. I just don't know how you lay the points.
I mean, do you
What
have
we're
coach
locked
bounce
in,
back here? You've heard of that, right? Coach gets fired, team comes out fired up.
it's true. And they're bringing out Jameis.
And they got Jameis.
So,
we got a lot of points on the board. You got coach bounce back. You got Jameis, who's going to either throw 4 interceptions or 4 touchdowns.
yeah. And look, it locked at 8.5 for Sandman, which is great. We got 7.5 in one of the other pools.
My numbers
And
say
I make
4.5.
this like a 5 point. I make it like a 5.7.
To me,
So I
I'm with
think,
the Giants and the points here.
yeah. I mean, it seems like the way to go. Look, the problem with Green Bay is that when they figure it out, it's gonna be a whipping. But I don't know why it's gonna be this week on the road against a rejuvenated team. So this seems like a clean one to just go, let me take the points. Let me find kind of somewhere in the middle, and let this one rip.
So let's take a look at in our stats. Defensive, total defense, opponent's yards per game. Okay. The Giants' yards per game, they've been giving up 383 yards, man. They're 29th in the league. The last 3
Bunch.
games, they've been giving up 399.3.
But this is another one of those ones where you go long in a team. They've had 4 straight games where they have epically lost leads. We think we're just going for number 5. It's just one of those things where you go, like, at a certain point, the line gets depressed to the point that you go, I got to take their side. And, after giving Philly that beating on Thursday night, Denver comes back from 100 points down and beats them. And then Philly comes back and beats them. San Fran comes back and beats them. Chicago comes back and beats them. And they tell Dable, who I think, as far as an offensive mind, is just fine. He just lost his team. I think this is one of those bounce back spots
For the Giants.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'm looking here at stats at opponent points per game and opponent yards per game. And we might need to rethink a little bit of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So the worst 5-6 defenses in the league, we've all kind of said, oh, well, maybe they are Cincinnati, Dallas, Tennessee, Washington, Chicago, and the Giants. And you can throw in, when you talk about scoring defense or yards per game defense, you can throw Pittsburgh into that mess. So those are the worst defenses. Now, all of those teams, for some reason, are standing out to me as teams that we've just talked about, like we might kind of like.
Well, it's not so much liking them as going, I think we've over-rotated on the line. That between the teams that are bad, playing bad, and favorites just going on a rip until the last 2 weeks, that it's got to even back out. It always does. The line slides the other direction. It goes, hey, here's what it is. We're going to reopen it at a much bigger number. And a lot of times, unless you can go, hey, the team that's the favorite is a consistent favorite. You go down this road and you go, hey, New England, whether the analytics say that they really should be beating people the way that they're beating people. They are consistently executing. You go down the road of Seattle and the Rams, have been consistently executing. Detroit, all of a sudden, has come back to consistently execute. Everybody else, there's going to be some back and forth. And unless you just really believe that, hey, Green Bay has had 2 rough games in a row where they just are on the top of everybody's mind, and we think that without their all-pro tight end, that they're going to be able to figure this out and turn it around. And I
didn't
just
realize
over a
how important that
touchdown.
guy was to him.
Well, and I think, the interesting thing is, when you listen to old Vegas guys talk and they go, hey, very few players outside of the quarterback are worth a line move. You go, all right, I see macro what you're talking about.
Yep.
That you're going, a lot of times it's the game plan, it's the execution of the team as a whole. You can't get stuck on one guy.
Yep.
But if you watch the game and you go, hey, they manage their whole thing through being able to pivot off this guy, I think you have to take that into account.
Yep.
You have to go, I don't know, it's hard to go, I'm going to call it X number of points to move the line, but I think it's an outsized situation where you go, hey, that guy got hurt and the line didn't move. And the line's in a position that you're right up against a key number. It's one thing if you got to play this on the open market and you already missed the 8.5 that it was Monday, and you missed the 7.5 that it was Tuesday, and now you're staring at a 7.
Yep.
Well, now maybe you wait and see if it gets down to 6.5.
Comes back, yeah.
And then maybe you take maybe it comes back, and then you can grab your side that you like. But with ours being locked like this, and you go, I get the 8.5, or in some of the other pools, maybe it locked at 7.5. I can get on the right side of a 7 where there isn't a clean methodology to go, hey, Green Bay goes on the road and they just hand out whippings, because they don't. So maybe take Jameis out there eating W's and trying to win this thing at the last second.
Yeah. No, I'm leaning Giants, but I got to be real hesitant. This whole defensive thing's got me a little skewed right now, because I want to make sure I'm not overcompensating in my mind for bad offenses or weak quarterback play, and thinking about Green Bay and what Green Bay did last week. But Philly, that they were all, Jordan Love was seeing ghosts, man. He was out there hanging out with Sam Darnold on Monday night.
For
He did
real?
not look comfortable. They were in his grill. I don't necessarily think the Giants are going to be in his grill.
No, but
think that
when you
he's
go
gonna-
back and look at this, they lost by 3, they lose by 3.
Mhm.
3 weeks ago, they beat Pittsburgh by 10.
Mhm. Mhm.
They win by 4. They win by 9.
They are not
They
winning by a lot.
tie. They lose by 3. They win by 9. Like, they have won 4 games by more than 7.5 points.
Yep.
Now, early in the season, they beat Detroit by 14. They beat Washington by 9.
It's
That was
kind of
when
that whole,
Daniels
did we
was
throw
still
the
playing.
first 3 weeks out thing.
But then since then, there's been a lot of puttering around or beating Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, who we just talked about playing each other. And other than that,
I really like your thoughts.
So I don't know. We'll see how the line moves. Again, this may just be a thing where we get to the end of the week, and if it climbs back up past 7.5, maybe that's an argument that the wisdom of the crowds are kind of pushing us in the one direction. But I'm going to guess it keeps kind of petering its way down. And the 7.5 and the 8.5 look pretty sweet come Sunday morning.
Agreed. I agree. The Packers, if anybody's curious, are 56% of the bets and 59% of the money right now at a -7.
So we're hanging right there.
All right. Next, that's a good assessment. I mean, to wrap that up, I'm online. I'm on the Giants with you. I just like to cause some problems. Chicago Bears and Minnesota. The Chicago Bears are plus
Hate this.
2.5 on the road. What do you have on this one?
I have Chicago as a 1.4 point favorite.
I have Chicago as a 2.5 favorite. And in both instances, they're catching points. To me, this
Yeah.
is a play we have to play with Chicago.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems as though we do. As much as I hate that team and I don't
On the road
understand
in Minnesota,
why
there's a
this
whole
is
bunch of reasons.
working, but interdivisional, Minnesota hasn't exactly been covering themselves in glory to begin with. It seems like JJ 80% of the time doesn't really have his shit figured out. So it's probably going to be fine. Look, you have a big comeback like that. For a young team, maybe it just keeps picking up upon itself.
They've got momentum, dude. They've won 6 of their last 7
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
outright. Just one. I mean, we're catching points here. I mean, I kind of hate
believe
it,
in
but
them.
no. But maybe we should look at them a little closer. I mean, what? Why would we
I
believe in
know.
Minnesota? They've done nothing for
No.
belief.
To be fair, I dislike what Minnesota's doing more than what Chicago's doing. It's
Agreed.
just that I started off the season going, hey, maybe Chicago can be something. And then the beginning of the season, watching those games, just going like I don't
Maybe we
I
throw
don't
the first 3 weeks out.
understand. Well, and look, that's fair. That's what my numbers basically do. My numbers, at this point, 10 weeks, week 1 is worth 3% of the number. Week 2 is worth 3.8%. Week 3 is 4.7%. So like
I like that.
we're before you get to week 7 is at like 11.4%. Everything else is below 10% of the weight. So
Right now, pause. Right now, Bierman is trying to listen to you, and he's drinking his beer, and he's going, "What the fuck is he talking about?" He's waiting
I
lines.
looked up. Yeah, I looked up how
a
to
percentage per week. Right now, Bierman's going, "Screw it, Lewis."
Yeah. I worked out how to decay the numbers going in, the margin against the spread each week, and that's what I'm working with. Now, it definitely, when you get these large skewed numbers, you have to know that part of that has to do with that, the last 2 weeks worth of data is worth like 38% of the value. So if you have most recently put some whippings on people, it's going to skew your numbers a little bit. But it's a thing to think about when you're looking at this and going, hey, if the number is pretty skewed, maybe it's because they are on an upswing. Unless you can look at the games and go, hey, those are pretty faulty final numbers, which of all things, Chicago's wasn't. They had to come all the way back and ruin Brian Daboll's life. Like, there's nothing the Giants wanted more than to hold on to that win. And Caleb just took it from him and just ran right into the end zone. And so I think
I'm
this is
growing
one.
on confidence with them. I mean, it's got to be one of our super contest plays, doesn't it?
Well, not to mention that we are halfway through talking about these games and we haven't come across one that we like yet.
We kind of like the
So
Giants.
it really, Yeah, a little bit. And look, that's not a horrible one. And look, part of what's fun about football is that sometimes you just want to root for somebody. I know you have a team. My
Yeah.
wife has a team. I don't have a team. So I just sit, and a lot of times on Sunday, I'm just rooting for fucking Sunshine to cover 1.5 points. And when he fumbles it and then kicks it and then falls on his face while some dude picks the ball up and runs it into the end zone as time expires, you just go, nothing is right in the world. But what is right is watching Jameis Winston do TikToks as he walks around New York, loving his life.
Yeah.
He is the happiest third string quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like
He is.
he is just like, this is the greatest life that anybody can lead. And I'm just in the Big Apple and like going and getting a sandwich and looking at monuments and shit. And they're going to give him the ball. And he's going to go out and he is going to have an incredible pregame speech. And then they're going to run out there and he's either just going to whip picks or it's going to be hilarious. He's going to be throwing the ball to people and the whole thing. So, yes, you're right. That is one that we definitely have to think about. But
I like how you can talk for 3 minutes straight and go from Sunshine to Jameis without taking a breath.
uh-huh.
This is
I
why
don't
we
think a lot
record
about these guys.
uninterrupted, folks, because
Yeah.
you don't get to see this comedic anywhere. This is perfect, right? You get to see Brandon in full form when he goes straight from Sunshine to Jameis in the Big Apple without a breath.
Oh man, it's going to be a fun Sunday. It is.
It is. It is.
I know where I'm going to be during pregame because they're going to figure out a way to get him on the TV. If anybody
Yeah.
knows what they're doing on any one of the 3 channels, they're going to figure out a way to get a microphone in front of his face and just go, Jameis, what do you and the Lord have cooked up for today? And just have him it's just going to come out of him and it's going to be like sunshine behind him. And look, it may not work. It might not work when he gets out on the field. But if you can't root for the guy, I don't know what to tell you.
I love it. This is why you can't miss the St. Louis Syndicate. Just you can't miss it.
Exactly.
This is
We try to be unique
unedited,
around here.
unscripted. This is fantastic. Okay. The Chargers and Sunshine. Sunshine's
man.
at home. 2.5. He's got Jim Harbaugh coming to town. My favorite thing about Jim Harbaugh. Have you ever seen the comedy skit? I mean, I'm not even gonna be good at it. But let me tell you, Jim Harbaugh, whenever they put the camera on him, always looks like this.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is the look of a father going, "Where's your mother?" He always is looking like, "Where's your mom?" He looks so confused.
Why am I having to deal with this?
Every play. He's like, I don't understand why we ran that play. Why are you calling a flag on that, official? How?
Well,
we're perfect.
he still looks like that
confused
when they're whipping Pittsburgh up and down the field.
Up and down the field, he looks literally like he's lost his wife, and he's asking his children, "Where's your mother?"
No, without
At
a
the
doubt.
ball. So anyway, but I find it hard, man, to root against the man. I just think he's a football genius.
Yeah, and I like their team. They just haven't been playing well.
So
here's the problem. I have Jacksonville as a 2-point favorite.
Ooh,
and they're catching somewhere between 2.5 and 3.5.
And I got
I don't
Chargers
know why.
3.5 favorite.
Right? Because the reality is that they have underperformed their spread at 3.5 points. They haven't been winning decisively lately. 3 weeks ago, they got beat by 28 points. Rams just took them out behind the shed and just gave it to them. This one, a lot of times I can kind of go like, I see where this is coming from, but they have not overperformed since they beat KC while being 3.5-point underdogs. That's the last time they played a good game. And let's be real clear, we all watched the game. Mahomes missed a defender, and the dude took it 99 yards for a touchdown, or
Yeah.
they don't win that game either.
No.
So I don't know what's driving it, but this is where we're at.
So
I got
this is
Jacksonville
simple
to
for me.
8. I got Chargers at 0.8.
All right. So I got the Chargers at 3.2 favorites. And to me, this is a simple play. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not gonna overthink this one. I'm gonna play Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. We have two teams going two different directions. Right. If the Chargers have their last 5 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're 2-3, and their 2 wins are against a fluky Kansas City, like you just mentioned, and Vegas. They lost to Seattle, they lost to the Rams, they lost to Houston. The Chargers, on the other hand, have won 4 of their last 5. They beat Miami, Minnesota, Tennessee, and Pittsburgh. So they're beating teams in Jacksonville's caliber, and they're beating them 25-10, 27-20, 37-10. All right, they're not like just eking by them. They're handling by a touchdown. And then
Sure.
they did lose to Indianapolis in there. Indianapolis came in and put a beating on them, and that was the Jonathan Taylor game, I believe, where he went nuts for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville Jaguars do not have a running game like that. They have a good running game, but they don't have Jonathan Taylor running.
It's okay. No.
To me, I'm not going to overcomplicate this. We have a team that is trending upwards and a team that is trending downwards. And I think that's kind of where I sit on this. Now, all that being said, the Chargers have got a couple of big injuries in the line, but they clearly have learned how to overcome it, winning 4 of their last 5. And I don't care who you're playing in the NFL, 4 out of 5 is a good streak. And they started off the season 3-0. So there's nothing telling me. They're not looking ahead. They got Vegas next week, so they're not like, oh, God, Kansas City's coming up. Now, next week when they play Vegas, they have Philly and then Kansas City, so maybe they look ahead against Vegas. Vegas could sneak up and get a cover. Like if the Chargers next week are favored by 7.5, if you think about look-ahead lines, Vegas in a look-ahead with a big spread against the Chargers might be a really good play because they have Philly and Kansas City right after that, and they're going to overlook them.
That's not a bad call. Are you willing to go to the 3.5?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm taking the 3.5, man.
Yeah.
My number says they're 3.5. My number says they're going to win this thing by a touchdown. In my opinion, it's going to be a 4, 5, 6 point win.
I'm not against it for the sheer fact of that. I'm tired of tying my morning to sunshine. Look, to be fair, his defense let him down this last Sunday. He obviously, the very acute issue of fumbling the ball on the last play of the game was all him. But, his defense allowing Davis Mills to score 26 unanswered points is absolutely ridiculous. Though it should point in the direction of Harbaugh and his game plan being able to take advantage of that. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I think your point's well spoken. They lost to a Davis Mills team. They beat by 1 point Geno Smith. They lost by 4 touchdowns to Stafford. They lost by 2 touchdowns. They lost by 2 touchdowns to Seattle and Sam Darnold. So why do we think, who's Herbert closer to? He's closer probably to Stafford and Darnold than he is Geno.
He should be. Yeah.
And
yeah. If he can
there's
get a little bit of time.
Pointing. I know everybody's going, it's going to cross they got to go across. It's an earlier game. Screw that. These guys don't care about that shit anymore. Chargers for me all day.
Perfect. I love it.
Okay, where are we at?
I love being able to at least find a side.
Yeah, Tampa Bay and Buffalo. Oh, man, you talk about the So let me go to my thing real quick. Both of these guys are in the okay. So Tampa Bay is in the category of I'm sick of this shit, and Buffalo's in the category of my eyes are bleeding. Along with Buffalo and my eyes are bleeding are Houston, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati.
Oh man, they should just make all the people from Buffalo just start involuntarily throwing up. Like
Yeah.
the fact that they've went from Super Bowl favorite to my eyes are bleeding is I look, here's the deal. I make Buffalo a 0.3 point favorite. So
Is that what your line
at
says, or
five
is
and a half,
that what you make it?
no, that's what I'm making it. No, the line, we're at 5.5.
Yeah. Mine says
So
3.8 Buffalo favorite. And think about that. That's a 3-point favorite at home. That means on a
yeah,
neutral field, Buffalo should barely win.
yeah.
There's a
And
problem, folks, up there in wing country.
yeah, no, and the problem is they can't figure it out. They had a game plan. It was to play the Chiefs and handle them. And then outside of that, they have had problems every week gaining any kind of margin. This seems like the most straightforward pick in my mind to just go, Baker, go out there and don't lose by a touchdown. Like Buffalo, I'd have a hard time picking Tampa on the money line because Buffalo has to have that. Like they are staring into the mouth of going, there are other people that are going to catch up to in the wild card race.
And
But
Tampa
winning by
kind of
6?
needs to keep pace. Tampa has to keep pace.
Oh, they
They
got to keep
need
winning.
this game as much as Buffalo does.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I love
that's
Baker in this spot.
motivation. Yeah. Yeah, you take
I
somebody
love
that fights
Baker
that
and
hard and
Tampa
give
in
them
this
some
spot.
margin.
Totally agree with you, man. I totally love Baker in this spot. Listen, very easily Buffalo could win this game 38-10. But
Sure.
I just think that Baker and the Bucks, they're fun to watch because they care. It's fun to root for them because they care. And I'm not saying Buffalo doesn't care. I'm just saying that Buffalo makes my eyes bleed, and I'm sick of Tampa shit. And I'm going to be more sick of it if they lose big to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Tampa's inconsistent. They make me crazy. But for the record, Tampa has 3 losses this year. You know who they're 2? New England?
No.
New England last week, who is a up-and-coming power. Detroit and Philly. Arguably, well, in our top 5, they're probably 3 of our top 5. They've beaten everybody else.
Yeah, they got to be right
Now,
there.
Buffalo should be in the top 5, right? So is this a team that they should lose to? But how bad will they lose? So those games they lost by 5, they lost by 6, and they lost by 20. No, 16.
Yeah.
It's scary because they're going to beat everybody else, but will they beat Buffalo and the Rams? They might lose to Buffalo. They're going to lose to the Rams. They're going to beat Arizona, New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, Miami, Carolina, and go into the playoffs with a really good record of, is that 11-5? 12-5?
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So they're going to lose 2 more games. They're going to lose to Buffalo, and they're going to lose to the Rams, and they're going to win out. And Tampa Bay is, they're going to feel like they're the greatest ever. The question is, how bad will they lose to Buffalo this week?
Their win total? 10.5. That's right on the nose.
So, honestly, this is a Buffalo win.
Probably.
And the question is it by 5.5 or is it by less?
Yeah, I'm going to guess Buffalo scores last and they win. Tampa's up. Allen gets the ball back. He goes down there. He scores. He wins by 3, 4, 5, hopefully not 6.
Sharp guys say Buffalo have 41% of the bets and 48% of the money. Tampa has 59% of the bets and 52% of the money. Only 6,800 bets are in on this one. That tells me maybe they're waiting on some injury news. So we need to monitor this one a little bit closer before we get too crazy on it.
Yeah.
But
no, for sure.
I'm
I
leaning,
think
I'm leaning
that
Tampa. I'm leaning Tampa.
when you like an underdog, it piques my interest. You know,
Yeah.
when the numbers start working out in the underdog's favor, it's a good day for me.
Okay. Well, right now we're gonna pay attention close to it. All right. Here's a barn burner for you. Carolina and Atlanta. Atlanta's favored by 3.5 at home.
Yeah, I make them 3.8. So we're right there.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with it.
I've got
I mean,
Atlanta.
yeah,
I've got Atlanta at 1.9. So
I probably
I'm
end up
showing a
taking the
little edge
points.
to Carolina.
They've fallen off the last 2 weeks. It's on the other side of the 3.
Yeah, this might actually be
You
my
know,
lowest gap play.
it's a good point.
I hate both of these.
Yeah.
I hate both of these teams. I may just take the 3.5 because it's a divisional play and just live with it. I don't know for sure yet though, because I'm not 100% certain that Atlanta at home. I need to look at the home and road splits on Atlanta. What is their home and road splits? Atlanta at home lost 1-1, lost neutral field. All right. I don't like that at all.
Oh,
They lost to
lost to Carolina by
away,
30.
30-0
Got zeroed.
in Carolina. You think there's a revenge factor here?
You know, I don't.
They were embarrassed.
You know, that is embarrassing.
Man, I might have to play Atlanta.
I don't know if either one of them has the firepower at this point to like show up the other one. I look, Atlanta should be better than they are. You watch their offense, you go, you guys have weapons. Why are you not using them? What is happening here? But they don't figure it out.
Yeah, so I have
They've
Atlanta
lost
in the
4
I'm sick
straight.
of this shit category.
Yeah.
Atlanta is
I don't know that there is a good
category.
answer.
Carolina's in the dumpster fire category.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
look,
I don't.
They had
a
shot.
Listen,
They got to play New Orleans last week, and they lost to them.
I think my best advice is stay away.
Yes, absolutely. If you don't have to pick this game,
Stay away.
Don't spend your time doing it. It's on the wrong side of the 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's the third most betted game so far of the week. So,
is there a split?
Third most betted game of the week so far. Yeah, the split's terrible though. It's like Atlanta 57% of the bets, 56% of the money. Carolina's 43 and 44.
Who
Just
the hell is betting
nondescriptive
this
at the moment. Yeah, 10,037 bets. That something's not right there. Is there an injury we don't know about?
I haven't
Somebody
seen
hurt?
one.
Okay, let's move on. That's a shit game. San Francisco minus 2.5, Arizona plus 2.5. What's your opinion here?
I like where my number comes out.
Yeah, what's that?
I have San Francisco minus 9.5.
Holy shit!
I think Seattle broke Arizona last week.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
That game
Yeah, I have Arizona
was
at wow.
I don't know what to, Jacoby came in, he played a couple of like reasonably strong games for a backup, overperformed, and then didn't play real great last week or 2 weeks ago. And then last week, they just got worked. So,
I mean, here's my opinion on Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett is going to be in one of those commercials for the backups.
Oh, sure. Great backup.
Next year. Great backups.
Yeah.
So like Mitch Trubisky, having to order somebody's food, and who was the other one? Gino, I don't know. There's been several of them.
Yeah, damn it. Who was the other?
There's been 3 or 4 funny ones.
Yeah.
They'd have to call them in. Somebody could paint, somebody could order or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's where Brissett's headed next year in that commercial.
You'll enjoy this. So they have 2, 4, 6. They have lost 6 of their last 7 games. Do you remember the one game they won?
Arizona? Yeah, they beat the Cowboys.
Yeah. They did. They did by 10 points.
Yeah.
So,
we don't need to talk about that.
Now look, they have figured out how to lose other than the Seattle game. They have lost by 4, by 4, by 1, by 3, by 1. So they were like there, so close for like 5 straight weeks. 5 straight weeks, they lost by a total 13 points.
Until
And
Seattle
then
beat the
they figured
crap.
Yeah, they figured out how to beat Dallas, and then Seattle just buried them, drowned them.
I'm blocking out that
for
memory.
me, I think that is one of those, we'll call them a season killer. Like we almost win. We do win. We play a legit team. They just whip the crap out of us. And then the next week, San Fran comes to town, who for some reason just keeps winning. Playing well. Not always winning, but playing better than you would think a team that has decimated both sides of the ball in all reality. Nobody turns a backup quarterback into a guy that's going to get a paycheck like Shanahan. It's bananas.
Well,
so
if I want to make this real simple, I'm all over San Francisco with you. They're probably
perfect.
Top 7 pick for me. I don't know if they're a top 5 yet, but I definitely, when we talk on Sunday, they need to be in the conversation.
Well, and the fun is they're below the 3. So they are primed and ready.
Yeah.
If we're still liking them,
there's no reason why they're not in consideration.
Yeah. So that's a fun one.
Absolutely. That's a good one. And actually, there's another good one right there in division. Seattle and the Rams right after it. How does potentially one of the best teams in the NFL be catching 2.5? Well, when they're playing one of the other best teams potentially in the NFL at -2.5 at home. So, I mean, ultimately, if 3 is the number, Vegas says that Seattle's a half point better on a neutral site. I would argue that's probably right because I love Seattle's defense right now.
Yeah.
Their defense is nasty.
Yeah.
Can they come fired up and cause all kind of problems?
Devontae having an oblique injury is the thing that sticks out of my mind and goes, maybe that is the perfect time for Seattle to just get in there and get the win. I make Seattle a 0.7 point favorite. I have
Seattle as a 0.9.
Yeah. So, it's one of those, it's going to be a coin toss game, right? It's one of those things that when you're playing that close to the zero, there's going to be a couple of plays that pivot the entire game. Either one of these teams can win. This isn't a lock thing, but I think you got to lean Seattle. They don't have somebody banged
let me ask
up.
you this. First off, let me ask you this. First off, I love Seattle. I know Bill is rolling around right now happy because we're saying we love Seattle. I love
Right.
Seattle. But they play the Rams twice in the next 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 6 weeks. One is home, one is away.
Uh-huh.
I feel these two teams, I do not feel Seattle will lose to the Rams at home in the 8:15 time slot on December 18th. I feel Seattle wins that game.
I don't know. This feels like that kind of thing where they come down to LA, they work them. McVay gets to sit around for a month and a half and think about it. And then we get to 6 weeks from now, and you're going, hey, both teams are still puttering along. Hey, Seattle should win this at home. And that McVay now has the idea. The same thing that happened, we remember, with San Fran, right? San Fran
Oh, I hear what
comes
you're saying.
in
I hear what
when
you're
they're
saying.
all beat to shit, and you go, there's no way that San Fran does anything with this. And they win by 3 on Thursday night. And then we get a couple of weeks later, come back around, McVay gives it to them by 16 points. I think we're staring at the same sort of situation here where Seattle comes into town, they get the drop on them, they're a little banged up. One of Stafford's weapons is gone. The defense is running full steam. And over the next 6 weeks, maybe people get beat up a little bit. McVay gets to look at Darnold in person, watch what he's doing. And then they split it when LA goes up to Seattle. I think this is a clean picture.
Opposite. I'm going to argue the opposite of that clean picture.
Okay.
Seattle comes down and believes that they're going to take care of business in the afternoon contest against the Rams because Adams is out, the Rams are a little banged up, and because they're at home, they don't have to travel. They are in the division. They're comfortable with each other. And McVay is a quarterback guru, which means he knows everything there is to know about Sam Darnold and his ghosts. That McVay and the Rams take care of business, win this game by a field goal. And then Seattle gets to stew on it, and that defense gets meaner and meaner over the next 6 weeks. And when the Rams come to Seattle, they actually get shut out by that defense with block punts, special team touchdowns, and a dominant performance to where the Rams lose that game 28-7 in Seattle. Yet both teams are good enough to probably end up in the playoffs. And so they meet again in the playoffs for a third time, which is rare, but when it happens, we know that the home team usually wins. So they're playing for home field advantage. And McVay knows that because he's a former Super Bowl champion, and this other coach who's in Seattle is fairly green. So I'm thinking that the Rams, it's a very clear picture.
Look, here's what I'll tell you. I think whoever wins this weekend is going to lose the second game.
I agree with you.
I think
Sandman Nation, we told you we wouldn't agree on all of them.
No, I think.
But regardless, we do agree that they're going to split.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to wait until later this week and see if we get any signals one way or the other. And if not, we'll have to go head-to-head on this one.
Yeah. My number says Seattle. But
Yeah.
I'm just a little hesitant on that because the Rams right now are one of the most powerful teams in football.
Well, and it sounds like that, people are starting to feel like the Rams do have an actual home field advantage, but the Chargers still don't. So to make it a .7 favorite is at the very least, once you put in some sort of home field advantage, is going to roll it the other direction to the Rams. It's not like there is a 3-point home field advantage, but it gets closer to the 2.5 number that they're laying. But I feel like Seattle is on this run, and the Rams are just, I think being down a wide receiver is just going to slow them down. So we'll see. Maybe he practices fully on Friday and it's fine, and who cares?
Yeah, we'll
And it's
see.
all good. But right now,
I
it
don't know.
sounds
We'll see.
like one of those oblique things.
My number says Seattle. My brain says Seattle. Excuse me. My number says Seattle. My heart says Seattle. My brain says Rams. So,
Perfect.
all right.
I love that.
Next check here is now this one is an easy play for me. Maybe not as easy for you, but Baltimore -9.5 versus Cleveland. To me, Baltimore is smoking hot right now. They're on a roll. They've got Jamar back or Lamar back, and honestly, Cleveland's gonna cover.
I
The
I think the
NFC
same
or
thing.
AFC North always covered.
Yeah, and I anything outside. I mean, we're getting outside of the 8. Like it to me, and it's 9.5 in Sandman. I
Yeah, and actually,
yeah.
my number says 10.5.
It and
But
my
I
number
don't
says
care.
8,
Then
but I'm on the same page. Like these guys, they're going to go in there, they're going to hit people. Cleveland's defense at home has been doing crazy. I I think that this is one of those things where I find it hard to believe that Baltimore would figure out a way to lose this game, but to win with that kind of margin just doesn't seem like
not in this
it's
division.
in the cards. Not with the numbers. Like it seems pretty. Like I don't know that I'm a huge fan of making it a giant number or anything as far as confidence, but I'm definitely taking the points.
Yeah, absolutely take the points. I just don't. I've never seen this scenario play out to where Baltimore just wins 30-3.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip ahead 2 games on us because I think the other 2 are going to take a little bit more dialogue, and our clock is running. We've been talking for a while.
Well, hey, you guys are
She may have
getting
to
a
edit this
full
some.
breakdown of the games. Like
Yeah,
it's nice and clean.
I love it. Dallas, Vegas. We're going to bounce to Monday night. To me, this is a fairly clean game. Vegas is +3.5. They are at home, but my number is so stupid on Dallas, it's ridiculous. Dallas is 11-point favorites in my number, and they've got a little bit of an emotional play with the passing of Marshawn Nealand. Vegas is not very good, and then you add some passion into the Cowboys, along with their really good offense. I just don't see this thing being close. It's not divisional. It's not even conference.
I
This
tend
could
to
get ugly.
believe that. I mean, my number comes out to Dallas being a 3.6-point favorite, but the offense is still what it is, and Vegas's defense is not good. So outside of Bowers
Other than
having
Max
some sort of,
Crosby.
yeah, I just don't see it. Like, yeah, I can make an argument for taking the hook, but I think that, Dallas has goofed this enough games in a row that it's time for them to they're indoors. It's not a big travel. They've been off for like, I think Dak goes out there and just gives it to him. So it seems
Yeah.
easy enough to just lay the points with Dallas and hope that the offense does what they've done about half the games.
Yeah, Dallas has to take care of business here because they've got a really stupid schedule also. They play Monday, they play Sunday, they play Thursday.
Right.
So in the next, what is that? 7, 8, 9. In the next 10 days, they play 3 games.
Yeah. Gotta get
So
after it.
they've got to win when they can, and they're going to win this first one against Vegas.
I agree.
Fan favorite here, Kansas City -3.5 to Denver +3.5. My numbers got Denver at +2.6, so Kansas City is the favorite, but by not as much as the line is indicating.
Yeah.
It is in Denver. Kansas City, while capable of winning in Denver, has struggled a little bit there traditionally. They've never been
They
like
have.
a huge, we're going to go into Denver and just whoop their ass. Even when Denver's
Not
been
very
down, they've
often.
still gone in there and struggled a little bit. So
Now,
I kind of lean Denver in this play.
that's the smart way to go.
I don't like it because Kansas City's who I want to root for, and Kansas City's who I
Yeah.
think is going to win the game. But if I have to be a gambler here, I think I got to stick with
3.5 is a smart play. I mean, everything points. I have them at like 1.9 point favorites, but I'm going to be on Kansas City. This defense should put Bo Nix in a blender. He couldn't score against Vegas. He was short hopping people.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I don't see how this doesn't turn into a multi-turnover game. So I'm gonna end up laying the points. I think it just makes sense for the situation. That like, look, if when you look at the numbers, Kansas City just stays at the top of the league, regardless of the outcome of the games. The only way for that to work its way to fruition is they have to bury the rest of these teams. It's the only way for reality to line up with what the numbers say they've been able to do so far this year, regardless of the outcome of the scores. So for me, I'm going to end up on that side of it. There aren't really any numbers to support it. If you're doing the smart thing, you take the hook and you ride it. But I'm going to end up going the other way.
You're rooting with your heart, man. You say you don't have a team, but I think you do.
Well, it's not so much like a heart. It's like I sit and I watch every play of every one of these games. And there's very few teams that I watch and I go, they are under control the entire game, regardless of the outcome. You can get beat and still go, I'm not rushing. I'm not confused about what's going on. I'm not making stupid decisions because I'm under pressure. And so when you have teams like this, then I go, I have to stay on that side of it and especially since the sunk cost is already behind me. I already fucked up. I already took them against Buffalo and Buffalo beat them. So now it's just the other side of it. I've been riding New England this entire time because they have consistently done what they're supposed to do. You know, I rode Seattle for most of their season because they consistently don't get themselves where they're rushing and they're making bad decisions because they're not giving themselves enough time to be prepared for what they want to do. Kansas City has underperformed so far this year. But when you watch the game and you go both sides of the ball, this isn't just a Mahomes thing. Their defense, even while getting beat, you can watch all the players move around and they know exactly what they're going to do. There's any confusion. Yep. There's no, I don't know what's going on. I'm lost. They got beat. You get beat on a play because the other team works out a better play. It happens. But
agree.
This is one of those ones where right now I kind of got three teams that I go, these guys on both sides of the ball seem like they know what's going on and they're prepared for every situation that comes up. And thus, it makes it hard for me to go, I'm going to bet against them. Because that's not being
Yeah.
taken into
No,
account in the lines. So,
no,
you know,
it's not. I agree with you.
mathematically, it doesn't make sense. But, if I'm to believe that sitting down and watching every play of every game gives me some sort of edge, this is the one I got to take. I guess I just have to ride it with these three teams and hope that they don't all screw me at the same time.
Well, and mathematically, the Chiefs don't have a lot of wiggle room, right?
No.
They've got to put away some of these opponents, right? They've got to put away Denver. They've got to put away Indianapolis. They've got to put away Dallas. They've got teams they have to put away if they want to make it. They have 4 losses. That being said, the one thing that the talking heads pull up, and maybe I need to take it into account, so I may not be quite on Denver yet. I mean, I like the hook. It's a smart play, but Andy Reid has this weird history about coming off a bye
He
and
does.
covering and dominating.
Yeah.
And
Who's that?
just
But
something to
look,
consider,
like,
it's a trend.
yeah. And Bo is
All
just
right, the
smoke and
last
mirrors.
game, Brandon. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What's
No, I
that?
was going to say, like, it comes back to they're playing against a quarterback that is doing this out of sheer grit.
Yeah,
Like, he's
agreed.
not like structurally sound. He's doing this just sheerly out of I'm going to bite down and figure out a way to win these games. And when you go up against that good of a defense, usually you hit a wall. So, maybe
I
he figures it
respect
out.
that of him completely, though. I really like Bo Nix. I really do.
Oh
But
yeah, I've
you're
enjoyed
right.
watching the
When you hit
games.
the wrong defense, it doesn't work. The last game on the slate for us, Detroit Philly.
Yeah.
This is interesting, right? Because you've been very outspoken about how much you hate Philly.
Mm-hmm.
We both kind of like Detroit all season long.
Yep.
Philly made some trades at the deadline that bolstered that defense to the point of it's gonna compensate for the weakness of Jalen Hurts and that passing attack, I believe. A team that can run the ball and play good defense with a competent quarterback, maybe not dynamic, but a competent
Right.
quarterback can win the Super Bowl. And I hate to say that, but it's
Uh-huh.
true because I hate Philly. Detroit is one of those few teams that is dynamic enough, and if they come out with the appropriate game plan to basically get the ball out of Goff's hands quick, bang, 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 and can they neutralize that rush with Gibbs running? Detroit is one of the teams that can handle Philly. There's a damn good chance this is the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. Good point.
And we're getting to
It's
see
definitely
it
possible.
this weekend.
As much as I don't
So
believe in
what does
Philly,
that mean? Yeah.
my numbers make Philly a 3.6 point favorite, which is
Yeah. I
well
have Philly
outside
as a
of the.
dog right now.
Yeah.
I have Philly as a dog right now. I'm showing Detroit as a 4.7. Now I have part of that is I weigh head coaching into this, and I don't like Sirianni and I love Dan Campbell. So my guess
Sure.
is I've skewed my own number
Yeah.
based on that. I tend to weight my head coaching on how teams play also. So if a team has momentum, I'm giving bonus to the coach. If the team has, because I don't really have anywhere else in my metrics to lean on that.
Sure.
So giving Detroit a little bit extra because of the emotional aspect of Dan Campbell is important. I got to tell you, this is one that my line says Detroit, 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 but Philly at home on a 1.5 is really going to be hard to bet against.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate it. It's probably going to be a middle of the road play for me, but
Yeah. I'm going to be split right up until the end because
I
look,
don't have a
that
whole lot
beating
of top
of
like, hey, I'm going to 15. Oh.
Look, the thing that stands out with Detroit is that, they gave up 22 points to Washington, who is falling apart. Like when we look at them, they've got the number 1 offense, they've got the number 12 defense, and then you go to Philly, and they've got the 11 offense and the number 1 defense, and you go, all right, when you look at unpredictable, they've got Detroit 0.1 better than Philly. Yeah, Detroit is number 3, Philly is number 4. And one of the things that stands out is that Philly has done what they've done while having the hardest schedule so far this year. While Detroit has had the 17th hardest schedule. Which is probably what is skewing my number towards Philly to a certain extent, is to go, here's how they've performed against the hardest collection of teams, where Detroit, was middle of the pack with what they've done. I hate it. I watch Philly and I just go, it doesn't feel like you guys have a plan. And so it's hard to just go, hey, I guess it's going to work out. But when you got Detroit going up against a top flight defense, go, okay, they're going to get slowed down some. They're outdoors. Good old small hands there playing quarterback. There's just a lot of anecdotal stuff that's leaning in Philly's direction. It's, and, on the right side of 3, it's just one of those things that you go,
Philly,
as much as I don't. Are you talking to yourself?
I was going to just tell you, Mr. Smallhands has a slight chance of rain, and it's going to be 49 degrees with a 10-mile-an-hour wind outdoors at Philly.
Here's a fun story, since we're not very far into the pod yet. For everybody out there in the world, we sponsored a guillotine league this year, and we've talked to the 2 players that are in the finals going into this week, and Sandman legend Mike Paston is on one side, and my brother is on the other side, and they both survived last week, and Mike had $313 left, and Chad had $56 left. So Mike bid $57 on the top 4 players and took all of them. And Chad's staring into potentially trying to decide if he wants to play Amon-Ra along with Gibbs or play somebody else instead of St. Brown in the flex this week, and trying to decide, like, and this is, this kind of goes to what we're talking about here, where Detroit, when they hit, it's a fucking explosion, it's chaos, they're scoring, there's guys going everywhere. But if it starts raining in Philly at night, it gets a little squirrely. Sounds like we're going to run right down to
Carter and Jordan Davis decide they want to eat golf.
Yeah. So that's one of those deals of going like, hey, who should I put in what spot, sort of thing. And going like, well, and look, it's still, the fun thing about guillotine is literally like, it's the players versus the other half of the player. Like, there's nobody else left. Anybody else you want that isn't on the other team is sitting on waivers if you want to go out and grab a guy. So, you get to stare at that for a week and go, and Mike, even to me, even more crazy. You have all these guys now, and you got to go, here are the guys I'm going to put in. Here's the guys I'm playing, and I'm going to ride with. And I hope nobody just screws me. It's a very interesting thing. So hopefully, for everybody next week, hopefully we will be able to get whoever the winner of the league is and bring them on and congratulate them and let them talk a little bit about their strategy and whatnot. See if they got some picks for us next week. But that's what we're closing in on this weekend, is closing out this guillotine
I
league.
can't wait to hear though, Brandon. Once you lock in on your team, do you then go pick up the best available players to prevent the other guy from getting them?
Well,
In
the
the free
argument would
agency
be
pool?
that already the best available players are sitting on both teams. If you go out there and look
In
at
theory.
what's on people's benches, right? We're staring at this going, trying to make a decision for a flex of, do I want to play Ashton Jenney, Dwaddle, St. Brown, Drake London, Igbuka, Nico Collins? Who do you want to set out there? Who do you want to sit in your flex? On the other side,
Mbuka.
right now,
That's who I picked.
we got Brian Robinson in the flex, and on the bench, you got Kieran Williams, McConkey, who is probably banged up, and Justin Jefferson.
Kyron
Jetta
Williams for
is
sure.
sitting on the bench. Well, right now he's got Bijan in there. So,
Bijan. I thought you said Brian Robinson.
Oh, maybe I did.
Who's his two
Bijan,
running backs?
McCaffrey and Jacobs.
Oh, Jesus, me.
And his wide receivers are Puka and JSN. So he's going into a final, and Jetta is sitting on the bench. Maybe. Right now, Jetta is sitting on the bench. Maybe the greatest wide receiver of our generation, potentially. Maybe, if he ever gets a quarterback. Now, obviously, that's questionable, right? Because you got J.J. McCarthy throwing to him. So you probably pass him up. But he's also a guy that anytime you just 175 yards, 3 touchdowns. So that's the craziness.
That's like guillotine so awesome.
Going into a guillotine league where you just go, one guy's projected for 143.5 points, and the other guy's projected for 141 points. Just a straight headbanger.
I love it.
So, next week, we're going to have the winner right here. Talk about what it felt like staring into the mouth of like $1,000, whatever the winner gets out of this, in a bottle.
Yeah.
And trying to decide.
$50 in a bottle is number one.
Yeah.
$8.50 in a bottle. Whichever the bottle is, we got to figure that out.
Yes. Well, we work that out on the show next week. What do you like to drink?
Yeah, absolutely.
Find something out fun. Get it in the mail. Or drop it off at the other end of town.
App? Drizzly? We can order it right there online and get it sent to them.
Exactly. So,
we've been pushing an hour 48. We need to touch real quick on our entertainment here of our top 5. And I don't think we need to probably belabor a lot of this. We'll jump right into Survivor, but just to cover our top 5, hanging out with Seattle, New England, Detroit, Denver, and Philly. Okay, now Brandon's probably disagreeing with Philly, but right now they probably own that.
Oh, I'm laughing about Denver.
They probably should be in our top 5 is Kansas City, Baltimore, and the Rams. I think the Rams could arguably go in there for the Eagles or the Broncos.
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
We want them to be good, we think.
All 3 of those teams, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because all 3 of those teams should be better.
And the Colts. I mean, we think we want them to be good. We don't know. I'm sick of their shit. We're sick of the Bucks, the Cowboys, the Vikings,
Like half the league.
Falcons, the Dolphins, the Niners, and
And everybody just pick a
Jags.
thing
We're just
and
sick
do
of their
it.
shit.
Yeah. At
We
least these
talked
guys
about
at the
it
bottom of the
earlier.
rankings are just bad.
Yeah. Yeah. The worst football team ever is, the Raiders, the Saints, the Browns, and the Titans. We get that.
It's
Dumpster
incredible.
fire. While probably the Jets, Cardinals, Giants, and Panthers are there, the way the Packers have been playing lately is really. I had to include them in the
It's
dumpster
crazy.
fire.
It's crazy to have all of that talent and
Oh,
to go out and spend the way they did, picking Jerry's pocket, and then lose by 3 back to back. Look, getting
yeah.
beat by Philly is what it is. Getting beat 10-7 by
That
Philly
happens.
is slightly embarrassing. Being by
Yeah, at
Carolina
home.
by 3 is chaos. Yeah.
And of course, my eyes are bleeding. That's Buffalo. Good Lord, what is wrong with them? And then Tennessee, I don't know what's going on there. They're supposed to be good. The Steelers, the Bengals. I mean, they're just anyway.
Yeah.
Brandon, it's that time of the week where we bounce into Survivor. Our record
Let's
is
do it.
31-12. We went 1-2 this week, my friend. 1-2.
Yeah. That was crazy from the jump.
Crazy from the jump. I don't have our
About
plays
12
loaded in
minutes
here.
in.
We'll just talk about them. But our top play this week, New England, I think, what are they? What did we say they were? 77% favorites?
Yeah. Yeah.
86%.
Look, they're
86%.
They're the only one that's above a 7.5 point favorite right now. Baltimore's a 7.5 point favorite. New England's 13, and they're at home. So, if you haven't used New England, this is other than the fact that Thursday night is just a way to start your weekend off in a horrible way if it doesn't go the way you need it to. This is going to be the number. Like the people that haven't played them are going to end up playing them here because the next best thing at home is Buffalo and is Pitt. Now, it would be hilarious to ride Pitt as a 5.5 point favorite. But I think New England, you just gotta do it. Like at this point, with the way that the last 3 weeks have went, you got to survive.
Yeah, I mean, your safe play is technically the Ravens. Granted, I don't know how safe that is. I almost feel like New England is the safe play. I would pick New England as a safe play probably over Baltimore, but with Baltimore playing Cleveland, in division on the road, Baltimore might actually be your top pick with New England being your safe play. But I think either way, you're okay here.
Yeah, I think so. I think
risk reward.
Baltimore. Ooh, Houston. Take another round at that. Look, Tennessee's back, right?
Look at that.
We got 2 more clicks here. We're going to get down to the team playing Tennessee, and it's going to be these same guys. Tennessee is. It's hard to even watch those games because it's like Tennessee never has the ball. Like you're just watching one team kind of have the ball a lot. Now, the only upside is that, they're coming off a bye week. But, Houston is a fun play this week. Like it's going to be, one of the last times that they're a big favorite. And, if you got the space, and especially if you burnt New England, if you burnt Baltimore, if you're not super into, look, you take a flyer on Green Bay. I think, for me this week, I'm probably just going to take New England, move on. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm kind of
New
I'm kind
England?
of the same way. Take New England, move on. Our play is there with New England. Um, if you haven't played them yet, New England is the play this week. Um, they're the safest that you've got. I do really feel like, and I hate to say it, Tennessee doesn't have a lot of other places that you would play them where New England has a few, but the last couple of weeks we've had this conversation, right? And it's bitten us both times, right? Carolina snuck
Both.
up and got us.
I've missed 3 straight.
Yeah, and 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 honestly, I just that doesn't happen very often.
No.
I'd kind of lean towards Dallas if you haven't used them yet. Um, against Vegas, emotional. I don't love road teams, but you are really not going to play Dallas anywhere else, man. They've got Philly, Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota,
No, that's for
Chargers.
sure.
Dallas is definitely a team that I would lean towards, but if I want to just advance, I'm taking the team that's playing the Jets this week in New England. If you've already used them and you have Dallas available, I would maybe potentially lean that way. And then the team playing Tennessee is definitely the Texans,
It's the Texans.
which
Yeah.
we know how that goes. It's the Texans. So
Look, that defense is
that
fierce.
is our Sandman podcast. Brandon, we have talked and talked and talked. These guys are tired of listening to us. They're happy the podcast is ending. We've kept it under 2 hours so that they can get on with their workday now. They should be full of insightful information. They should understand how every team is broken down, and they should know what they're waiting on and what they're looking for. I'd say that if you really took a look at our teams that we liked when we talked, San Francisco's on that list, and Chicago is a
Seattle.
possibility. We kind of like Cleveland as well, and the Chargers are okay.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if anybody got out of here with anything they love, but we
There should
definitely broke
be
it down and have an idea of where we're going Sunday.
a solid 4 picks here that are nice locks for this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck, fellas. Tell us if you like this format. Send us a note, drop us a note in the YouTube comments, anything. If you want us to get back to be more concise, doing just 3 games so that you can get onto your day a little quicker, that's great. When our podcast goes longer than the Sandman podcast, I'm sure we're going to get an HR note from Bierman saying we got to cut it back. So, make sure you complain to Bierman if we get in trouble. So, you guys have an outstanding week. Good luck with your picks.
Cheers.